I'd like to welcome everyone to the Analytics Accelerator Certification webinar by equiskill.com. And this is a series of webinars that we run, and all of you are actually invited to 2 classes free of cost. I've actually muted the participants just to make sure we don't have a lot of background noise, but you're more than welcome to unmute yourself and speak as we have questions along the way. This is going to be a very interactive webinar, different from the other webinars that you might have attended, because we actually look at it as a class, a free class. And there's another free class coming up for you. All of you that have joined today will get to learn the next free class as well, right? Okay, fantastic. So folks, about equiskill.com, very briefly, our vision is to make sure that every learner can draw insights from their data and improve the state of their self, organization, or country. And we started out in the year 2015 with this mission. It's been more than 2 years, and our courses are actually taught by real analytics professionals. We're not trainers. We've worked in corporates, and you'll see that very shortly. We maintain a small class size. Typically, we're looking at less than 25 people so in a class, so that we can focus on all your questions and have individual attention for all of you, right? We have a methodology called click and follow workshops, which you will see today. If you have installed Tableau, you'll get to practice along with me in this webinar. So those of you that had a chance to install Tableau on your computers and download the data, you could say yes in the chat box now, so I know how many we have. Okay. Now, in terms of introductions, we've also worked with learners from across the world in different companies. So typical learners that we have are from Dubai, Saudi Arabia, London, Europe, and the US and India, right? Those are the geographies that we focus on. And these are some of the companies that we work at, and we're also the adjunct faculty in analytics in a lot of universities, including Narsimonji, Symbiosis. We've conducted workshops there. In terms of introductions, let me just go with myself first. So I'm actually an MBA and I'm a computer engineer, so queer combination there. The most significant work experience that I have is at Amazon.com, where I've worked very closely with Sebastian and supported his organization in Hyderabad. For those of you that know Sebastian Gurnigam, he reports to Jeff Bezos and runs the merchant business at Amazon, which I supported very closely in Hyderabad. I've worked with the GE IoT teams as well as the R&D teams at GE, and finally Citibank Global Analytics and Insight Division, where I was a vice president, and then I started up my own company. So that's a little bit about me. Now, along with me, I've got someone really interesting. So I've got Ujjwal Dalmia, and I just want to make Ujjwal unmute him so that he can introduce himself, right?
Thanks a lot, Amit. That was helpful. Hi, guys. My name is Ujjwal Dalmia. I've been with multiple companies like Wipro, WNS, and HSBC, primarily playing role in their analytics division. Currently, I'm leading a small team of analysts and data scientists at HSBC in their commercial banking space. Now, it's out of sheer interest and passion about sharing the knowledge which I have is where I'm with Amit and supporting Equiskill right now. So yeah, that's a small introduction about me. Just one more point. I'm formally, I've taken a formal education from ISB in analytics, and that's where my analytics journey really started. So yeah, that's primarily it from my side. Thanks a lot, Amit.
Thanks, Ujjwal. So ISB is one of the Ivy League colleges in analytics in India and Asia, one of the best, and we're happy to have Ujjwal with us today. So why we're all here today, folks, right? Let me just summarize the reason why you've all joined this webinar is what's happening in every minute on the internet. And this here, what you see, is a typical minute on the internet. So we're talking about 277,000 tweets. We're talking about 2.5 million Facebook shares, right? We're talking about all kinds of data, including video, images, and it's all happening in 1 minute. And Amazon now makes far more than $83,000 in sales in a minute. You read that right. So with this vast amount of data, what's happening every year is that every 2 years, right? Every 2 years, the data is doubling on this planet. Okay, and that's staggering because the amount of data that we had in the year 2015, well, guess what? We've got exactly twice the amount of data already in 2017. Now, a lot of things have contributed to this, but I think part of that is mobile and the fact that all of us are walking around with mobile devices. The other thing is probably the cloud, right? Now, with this data explosion, every business wants to capitalize. And if you look at the LinkedIn top skills in the year 2017, right, and you have a look at this right here, you notice that data is right here at number 2, right? Probably the only trend that you might want to think about that is ahead of data is cloud computing. But consistently across the world, in every country, right? Singapore, the US, Dubai, the Middle East, data is somewhere in the top 10 skills that you want to acquire, and a really, really hot job, right? Why so? Because in the past, right, the companies, if you think about the 80s, like Chevron, Exxon Mobil, were all oil companies, and those were the companies that were, multi-billion-dollar companies. But today it's Facebook, and today it's LinkedIn. You might think Facebook and LinkedIn are into the business of social networking or professional networking, but the reality today is a little different, right? Everyone's just in the business of data, getting a lot of data and monetizing that data. Data is, folks, the new oil, and it is the new soil. And that's why we're all here today. Now, before we move ahead, I want a quick, quiz that I have for all of you, right? What are the different kinds of data analytics that you've heard of? And just put it in the chat box. Don't worry about being right. Don't worry about being wrong, right? What are the different kinds of data analytics that you have heard of? Okay. And in the meanwhile, I'll welcome Anu, Debaditya, right? Welcome to the webinar. I've got Elroy. Elroy, welcome to the webinar. And let me just see if I've got anyone else that I need to welcome here. Rishi Kumar, right? Welcome to the webinar. And now the responses, right? So business analytics, audio, video analytics. Patange says 7 types of analytics. Strategic analytics, okay. Keep going, folks. How about the rest of you? So Elroy says HY. Elroy, what might HY stand for? Thanks a ton for that comment, though. Retail analytics, supply chain analytics, statistical Google analytics, okay. How about big data analytics? I'm missing that. Am I not from you guys? Yeah. I'm sure you've heard of big data analytics, yeah? Okay. Okay. Now I just want to clear up this whole thing, in our minds, okay? And make this really, really simple for you, right? There's only fundamentally 3 kinds of analytics, right? It is descriptive, it is predictive, and it is prescriptive analytics. If you want to think about it, the simplest way that you want to think about it is descriptive analytics is describing what has already happened in the past. So it's about hindsight and what has happened in a business in hindsight, right? When you describe the past, you basically say, okay, so what's going on in our business? And the moment you ask the question, what's going on in our business, you're talking about the past, right? And that is descriptive analytics. Now, it might be reporting, with certain drill downs, some metrics that describe how your business is doing, even exceptions and alerts if your stocks go up or down, if there's a transaction that could be fraudulent. All of this falls in the ambit of descriptive analytics, which is what's going on in the business. Now, suppose I'm the head of sales for a global company, and I hear that sales went down by 20% last month. And that's what's going on in my business. I will have a simple question for the person who asks me, who tells me this, right? And it's a simple 3-letter word that I'm going to say to understand, what happened and how actually sales went down. So what would I ask you if you told me sales went down by 20% last month and I'm the head of sales for the company? What is this word that you would ask? A simple word. Please put it in the chat box. Nice and easy, right? You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. It's about why did this happen, okay? The moment you say why, what you're asking for is not something that happened in the past. You're asking for insight, and that's what I have here on the left-hand side. You're asking me to give me some insight that helps me predict, A, why this happened, understand why it happens, and B, predict if this could happen again in the future. And that is predictive analytics, right? It includes modeling to understand why this happened, analyzing it, and forecasting this in the future, right? And then finally, that's great. I mean, it's all great that suppose, I tell you that the sales went down because we're approaching the end of the year and everyone is waiting for the new year sales, and so no one's buying anything. What's your next question? You're the head of the sales and you need the sales to go back up. So what's your next question going to be? And it's again a 3-letter word. You got it, right? Dikshita got it, right? It's how do we get the sales back up again? So what you're asking me to do now, folks, is prescribe a solution to this problem, right? And should give me some foresight on how we can fix this. So you have many models in machine learning, dynamic rule utilization that help you do this. Okay, so now you know the three kinds of analytics is descriptive, predictive, and prescriptive. So what is big data analytics then? Simple, right? Big data analytics is when the order of data becomes greater than a certain amount of gigabytes, right? And this could vary. I mean, today it might be, let's say, 100 gigabytes, but tomorrow it might be 1 terabyte, right? So whenever the order of data is huge, to do these things that you see here on the screen, you need big data technologies like Hadoop and Spark and Hive. And that's why we call it big data analytics. Otherwise, it's exactly the three kinds of analytics you see here. If you apply these three kinds of analytics in credit, it becomes credit analytics. If you apply it in risk, it becomes risk analytics. Okay, right? Nice and easy. Yeah. Okay, so big data analytics, right? It's about the size of the data. Even if you have to do something as simple as Raju, query the data, right? You cannot query very huge data using conventional tools like SQL. So what tends to happen is instead of SQL, which is the tool you might have used for small data, you would have to use Hive, which is a tool that allows you to query very large size of data. Apart from the large size of data, big data analytics is also about a couple of things, right? It is about distributing the computing so that it happens across many machines across the world on the cloud. And it is also about what we just talked about a short while ago. We call it volume, velocity, and variety of data. And there's a huge volume of data these days, and it comes in a lot of different forms, right? It can be mp3, videos, text, audio. Okay, so volume, velocity, and variety. So velocity is changing really, really fast. So these things, apart from the fact that you have data in huge size, define big data analytics. Okay, but these terms are used very interchangeably. So data analytics, data science, there isn't a huge difference. The only thing you might want to think about is that the folks that actually work as data analytics professionals tend to focus from around here to here, right? They start from descriptive all the way till predictive analytics. While the folks that actually work in the pure play data sciences, right, they would actually start off somewhere here and go all the way till the top, till deep learning, right? So there is at that point you want to think about this, right? There is an overlap, a significant overlap between data analytics and data science. You don't want to think of this as watertight compartments. It's just not that way. Okay, as a matter of fact, everyone has to start out by doing this, which is descriptive analytics. And this, folks, believe you me, is 70% of the data analytics industry is descriptive analytics. It is not anything else, right? So I want to just hand it over to Ujjwal and see if he has anything to add to this particular slide for a minute. Yeah. So Ujjwal, over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Amit. I think, Amit, the last point you made is what I would like to elaborate upon. So, guys, you know, um, I think both Amit and I have spent considerable time in the industry to see how this ladder really, how people really scale up this ladder. Okay, and trust me, when it comes to anybody new whom we hire into the company, their first expectation is that they want to make a model. And if I'm not wrong, I believe all of you over here are here to learn everything about modeling. Am I correct? Can you just type into the chat window that is that what you're expecting out of this course, guys? No? Okay. So Pankaj says no. Murli is saying exactly that's what he wants to learn. What about others? No. Asma is saying no.
Patange says exactly on a private chat. Yeah, yeah. So
Okay.
yeah.
So guys, I'm happy to see a few of you saying no. I'm also happy to see a lot of you saying that yes, you really want to learn it. It's good to learn it, but trust me that until unless you date the data, okay, you will not be able to run good models. Okay. Yes, definitely as part of this course we teach you algorithms, we tell you how to run models, okay, but a model can be successfully executed only when you have done enough of descriptive analytics on the data. Okay, and in analytical industry, we call it, dating the data. So you date the data enough to know it well, and is when the data will become the right partner for you, and then you will be able to do a lot of predictions and prescriptions on top of that. So don't want to, I'm not bringing in the point that predictive modeling should happen at a very later stage in the career, but what are the point which I'm trying to bring in is that if you know your data well, if you know your domain well, is where you should take, a step forward and start predicting, or start building models. But it's very important to understand this first step of the ladder well. Yeah. Yeah, over back to you, Amit.
Thanks a ton. And I think what we're trying to say, folks, is that you will spend a lot of time in the industry querying your data, cleaning your data, collating your data, and putting it together into meaningful reports, sharing it with stakeholders, getting their insight into what they think about the data, even before they're going to ask you the question, oh, why is this happening? So the whole point is, unless you actually first share with your stakeholders what is going on in the business, there's no way they're going to be able to come to you and ask you, why is it happening in the business? So it's really important to understand this is where it all begins, and this is where you spend a lot of time, right? Now, are the different kinds of analytics really clear to everybody? Really, really clear to you? Please say yes in the chat box if they are. And I've got some new folks who joined up. So welcome, Selva, Ashish, right? Welcome. Thanks a ton for joining the webinar. Thanks, Jagan, for joining the webinar. We've got someone called PS. Please let me know your name. Welcome to the webinar. And Ramzan Ali. Hey, welcome, Ramzan, to the webinar. Okay, fantastic. I've got some responses from everybody. Superb, right? Damien, Vignesh, Vishal, Asma, Rishi, Elroy. Thanks a ton. I'm going to move ahead now, okay? So, folks, analytics is being applied in virtually each and every industry, right? And someone wanted a quick recap. So for those of you that joined late, just to kind of share, there's only fundamentally three kinds of analytics. Descriptive analytics, which describes what is going on in a business, whether sales are going up or down, or what's happening to profits. Predictive analytics, which is what helps us understand why it's happening the way it's happening. And finally, prescriptive analytics, which helps us understand how to move forward so that we can improve things for our business. So those are fundamentally the only three kinds of business. Now, if you do this for big data sets, it's called big data analytics. If you do it for financial data sets, it's called financial analytics. If you use it in HR, it's called HR analytics. So I don't want you to get caught up in the terminologies. These are only the three kinds of analytics, right? That's your quick recap. Now, let me ask you this, right? If I have a silver credit card from American Express, right, and you discover that I just got promoted and I've become a vice president now, and I'm actually making a lot of more money than I used to make before. So if you're American Express, what would you try to sell me? I have the silver credit card. Which credit card would you try to sell me, or what would you try to sell me? Please put your responses in the chat box. Absolutely right. You try to sell me the gold card or the platinum card. Fantastic, fantastic, folks. Thanks a ton, Asma, Ashish. But if you already know that I have a platinum credit card and you can't sell me any more credit cards, suppose you're a financial company and you get my data and you understand that I have the Amex platinum credit card, the highest category of credit card. Now you can't sell me a credit card. So what else can you sell me? Which other financial product could you sell me? You're right. Investments. Vishnu, Damien. What else? What else, folks? Mortgage, loans, right? Okay. So what you're hearing now is an analytical technique that we use. It is called upselling modeling, which is when you try to sell me the platinum credit card. It is also called cross-selling when you actually try to sell me something different. But now, when you try to do this for millions of customers, let's say I've got 50 million customers globally, how do you even figure out what you need to upsell or cross-sell? And this is where analytics comes in. Okay. Now, when you want to think about, a loan, right? And suppose, and thanks, Vignesh, for your response. When you want to think about a loan, right? Now you want to sell me a loan. Before you sell me a loan, you want to make sure I'm worthy of, fulfilling that loan. Otherwise, you know what happens in the world, right? A subprime crisis. So you've got to make sure that you model the risk and assess my credit worthiness. How do you do that? You do that using risk modeling, logistic regression, right? Okay. Now, if you want to look at the things I've already purchased and what we just did, when we looked at the fact that I had a platinum credit card, and then you decided, hey, this person's got a platinum credit card, so guess what? We can sell him a loan, okay, which is a mortgage. We can also sell him investments. We can also sell him blah. This is known as market basket analysis. And when you go higher up in the order, it's called recommendation engines, which is what LinkedIn and Facebook use when they say, hey, basis your Facebook or LinkedIn profile, we'd like to recommend the following people that you can connect with. And that's also an analytical technique. So as you can see, everything that happens in these businesses that you see in front of you today, retail, finance, right, e-commerce, healthcare, telecom, social media, is all based on analytics because you've got a huge amount of users that are actually accessing all of this. Now, banks are using this in a huge way. They're probably the number two users of analytics across the world. I probably broadened this to the banking and financial services industry. Huge in the use of analytics. But today, even human resources, right, woke up in 2013 and decided that they weren't using their employee data enough to their benefit. Business leaders just didn't trust the employee data, and that's what you see on the left hand side. 82% of business leaders said that the data was not accurate, and 1,258 CEOs were surveyed, right? And out of them, all the orange colors that you see here are the CEOs that were dissatisfied with the kind of HR analytics they were getting. So what I'm getting to, folks, is even the support functions like finance, operations, testing, right? IT support and their trouble ticketing, right? Everyone is using analytics now. It's reshaping functions like HR, but just a lot, not just HR. I mean, every support function you can imagine. So what do you need to get there is really important, right? And you want to think about this as the skills that you want to acquire over a period of time. All of you have some of these skills already. So let's be clear, you either have some tech skills, or you know a little bit of statistics and data science, or you actually understand a particular business domain that you belong to. It might be telecom, but the people that are into analytics are someone who sort of are at the intersection right here of all of these three skill sets, right? So over a period of time, they acquire a little bit of all of these things, and they're able to derive insight from data to make a business better. And that, folks, is the heart of analytics, data science, machine learning, deep learning. It's all about deriving actionable insight from data. Okay, and it needs to be actionable, right? Now a career could go anything like this, right? What we want to emphasize, and this is just a demographic of a career in banking and financial services. The most important thing is whether you're a business person or whether you're a person who's into technology, there is room for you in analytics, right? So analytics careers, typically I hired close to 500 people in Citibank Global Analytics and Insight Division. I can tell you, out of 500, there would be around 270 odd folks that were technical, and the rest were that were actually from the business side. They might have been MBAs, economists, chartered accountants, from many different fields, even pharmacy, even English honors graduates. Can you believe that, right? So, of course, they got trained, they got upskilled in analytics, but that's the way it went. And this is how you grow. You start out by doing descriptive analytics in your career, right? So down at the base of the pyramid, it is all about descriptive analytics, but it quickly moves a couple of gears up, and you start working on predictive models, and then you assume responsibility as a manager of a particular product, country. AVPs may be a particular group of countries, group of products that you're doing analytics for, group of services. VPs may be for an entire region, and directors, worldwide leaders in analytics, right? Heads of machine learning. Just a representation of how your career sort of takes off in analytics, right? So Patangi says, good information at the rate of Amit. Thank you so much. Patangi, I hope I have your name right though. It's displayed as Patangi. At any point of time in your panel, when you go to participants, you can change your name. So you can right click your name and change your name so we can see your correct name, right? Okay. Kindly share the prerequisites for pursuing this career. Hang around. So I'm going to counsel everyone who has questions at the end of this webinar. So hang around, yeah. Okay, so the prerequisites really, if you ask me, are exactly what you see on the screen here, right? The most important thing in analytics is, Vignesh, being able to define the problem correctly. and this is sounds easy, but it's really, really hard. Okay, this is the part where you need to work with the client and find out what are the business outcomes. What business outcomes are they trying to drive with analytics? Are they trying to improve the profit? Are they trying to forecast the sales? Are they worried that they'll run out of a particular product? For example, Lala milk and yogurt in Whole Foods in the US, they're really worried about the fact that they may run out of supply of yogurt, right? Which is curd. And then after you define the problem with the client, right, you actually begin to gather your data, and you have to do a lot of data manipulation, exploration before you understand what's going on. Now, in order to do that, you need to have solid concepts in descriptive and inferential statistics. Okay, this is a prerequisite for you to learn analytics. It doesn't matter if it is data science, data analytics, big data analytics. It is a prerequisite for all of these. So what does this encompass? Now, at this point, I want to just quickly digress and show you, my profile on Quora.com. So I blog a lot, on Quora.com, right? And this is me here blogging on Quora, and I've shared some really good blogs, right? And let me give you one of those blogs, just as a sort of a primer. Now, currently, I'm actually ranked, somewhere around number 6 in the world as one of the most viewed writers on analytics, right? So just sharing that with you, and that's because a lot of you have been nice enough to read my blogs. So thanks to all of you. I'll go back to my profile and show you the questions that I've answered, right? So really, I've actually answered close to 336 questions on Quora.com in the last 2 years. And there's some really good questions around, what you need to learn and grow in analytics, right? So let's talk about statistics, and I've talked about this here. What you need to learn in statistics to be really good at analytics is mentioned in one of my blogs, right? And I'll share that blog with you in a very short while. Okay, here we go. Okay. Okay, I'll just have to pull that out, yeah? We've got a lot of blogs there, but I'll pull it out. Net, what we're saying is, folks, that you need to pick up the mean median mode, the probability distributions, types of variables, populations and samples, hypothesis testing, estimation, before you can move on to advanced analytics, right? And then when you move on to advanced analytics, what you're going to learn is linear regression, logistic regression, time series forecasting, decision trees, sentiment analysis, market basket analysis, clustering of data, right? Twitter sentiment analytics. All of these advanced techniques will be taught in R. And R, if you ask me, is the best, in terms of the statistical and data analytics packages that it has today. Even today, you compare it with Python and the pandas in Python, I would say R is definitely better than Python in terms of when you compare the libraries with the pandas. However, Python is catching up pretty fast, right? And I've got a really nice article on that too. And I would say it's not R versus Python. I'd say over a period of time, you can pick up both, right? The tools that we cover in the program, and you are invited to another class free of cost, R will be the whole focus of the program. So you'll see that later, close to 8 classes on the entire predictive analytics techniques are all going to be on R. And even statistics will touch upon R as well, apart from using spreadsheets, right? Can everyone hear me? Can everyone hear me? Okay. So Bhati, what you want to do is you want to log out and log in again. Okay. And hopefully, again, you should get the audio, right? So it can be an internet issue at your end because everyone else seems to be able to hear me, right? Okay. So after this predictive analytics piece, you're going to go in depth and you're going to get a project, a capstone project, a real German credit card project where you get to model the credit worthiness of German credit card users and decide who you're going to give a loan to and who you will not give a loan to. It's a full-blown capstone project. You can also take an HR capstone project where you'll get a live data set, a real data set that we've just tweaked to, sort of hide the confidentiality of the users, and you can predict who is going to attrite next in the company. So it's an employee attrition data set. Your next class is on the 7th of January, right? And before that, if you enroll, you will all get, free of cost, a discount. Okay, so and we have a 21-day refund policy, just to share with all of you. So for 21 days, all of you can, actually take a refund. Anyone can take a refund if they have any challenges of any sort, right? Just to make that clear. So that's the, structure of the program. Okay, and we're going to move ahead to our demos now. Yes, so the class is worldwide, and it's going to be in Dubai, the US, Europe, and India. People join from Ahmedabad, Bangalore. Those of you that are in Bangalore, you can always come and network with us, catch up with us in office, or even come and attend, on the Wi-Fi in the office. Now, the important thing is that you do not require to be an engineer for this program at all. We have a lot of people from a commerce background, economics, social sciences background that join the program. We will teach you programming right from the beginning. So if you've never done a single line of programming, you can do it. And Ujjwal will show you how so right now. You only need to have a little bit of knowledge about some industry. That's an added advantage, but it's not a requirement, right? The tools that you require are Tableau and Power BI, right? Those are the tools that you require for the program. And right now you can be zero in programming and we will help you. You will not need to know any programming for this course, right? Okay, so the course, I'm just coming to how much the course is for very shortly. So hang in there, folks. You cannot miss any class because we record each and every class, including this class right now. Every class will be recorded 100% and uploaded within 24 hours for you to access, right? Okay. You also get a flexi pass. In case you miss a class, you can attend it in the next batch, right? Okay. You don't need work experience, but if you have some, it will help you make additional insight of this whole topic of analytics. For those of you that joined late, I'm going to share a feedback form at the end of this class. You need to fill up the feedback form. You'll receive this presentation, you'll receive the recording, you'll receive the data that I'm going to use in the class. Everything will be shared with you. Yeah, so hang in there. We have helped a lot of people actually find better resumes. We've built their resumes, we've conducted mock interviews for them. A lot of them actually got placed and they've shared their feedback on our Facebook page as well as our Quora page. So I've got someone drawing on my page, right, with their pens. So I want to thank you. Okay. And the course is, I'm coming to that. There's a special discount for you today. So it's for 18,900 Indian rupees, which is 289 US dollars. And we've got a discount for the international participants as well as the participants from India today who have joined this webinar. As a measure of gratitude for having joined this webinar, all of you will be receiving a discounted link, additional discount over the course on the website, right? So just to show you the web page, and let me see if I can just open this up here for you, right? This is the web page for the course. Okay, we're not covering SAS in this course, so sorry about that popping up on the page. We'll be removing that very shortly. I think the logo is there, but here we go. So request all of you to click on this link. This is the course page link, and as you can see, it's 18,900 Indian rupees, down from 21,900 Indian rupees. For those of you that are in international locations, you will see $289, which is discounted. It's actually above $300, but we've discounted it. Because you've joined today, we're going to give you an additional discount for the course. Of course, we're not covering SAS, just to be clear on that particular point again, right? So please click this link and have a look at the web page. It's now time for our demos. Okay. Before that, you're actually all invited for the first class totally free of cost. However, if you want to avail the discount, you need to avail the discount before the 31st of December and join the course. Okay. Now, how important is SAS? SAS, yeah, that's a great question. So if you actually, and I mentioned to all of you that I've got this, Quora blog here, right? So on this Quora blog, I've got this really nice question that I answered about what are the best tools in data science, right? And I've talked about the fact that you want to defocus on tools and you want to focus more on the techniques. Okay, and this course, the beauty of the course is it's focused on the techniques, not the tools. But for those of you that asked, I want you to actually read this blog. Chris Lures has answered this. I have answered this. Understand it's not about the data, right? It's about the tools. So SAS is trending down now. The financial sector uses it, healthcare uses it, but for the rest, it's all going to be R and Python, or it's going to be tools like Tableau for visualization. So let me share this blog with you. Go ahead and read this blog of mine, folks, on Quora.com to learn more about the different tools in the industry, right? By the way, we do have a self-paced SaaS course for those who are interested. Above the accelerator, it's good for you to take the self-paced course and quickly learn SaaS yourself if you're keen on SaaS. Yeah. It's time to hand this over to Ujjwal for his demo because he's got a short while more to go. Now, the next two exciting things we've got coming up are our demo, we've got a Tableau demo, and then we've got a Q&A. And I'll collect all your email IDs to give you your discount coupons, right? So handing it over to Ujjwal now for his R demo on text mining and sentiment analytics. Ujjwal, let me just make you the presenter, and you're the host now. Please go ahead.
Thanks a lot, Amit. So guys, I'm beginning to share my screen and I would request all of you to respond back with a yes into the chat box if you can see my screen. Can all of you see it? Perfect, great. So guys, what you're seeing on the screen right now, and as Amit rightly typed into the chat box, don't be afraid. This is nothing but just a very simple R code, and the screen which you're seeing right now is an R Studio interface. Okay, so before I really start with it, how many of you have already seen an R Studio interface earlier? Ashish, I understand that after looking at this screen, you will definitely have a comment like that. That this looks like you need to be really pro at programming. But trust me, once you'll get into the class wherein I'll take you through a code like this, you'll probably come out saying that it was just a cakewalk. Okay, so I can see a few of you who have already seen an RStudio screen, but for the benefit, Ashish, that's absolutely fine. Even if you're not from any programming background, trust me that this code, when once explained, you will feel is a very simple code, and it can be written by anybody. Okay, it's just require a little bit of understanding. Okay. Uh, Vignesh, it is not from Anaconda. It's a pure play R Studio which is installed on my desktop. Okay, so that's what the installation is. Okay, I think for a few of you, it's a little. The screen looks a little. Is it better, Pankaj? Can you see the screen now? Okay. For everybody else, is everybody else able to see the screen properly? Yes. Pankaj, any specific part which you're not able to see? Okay. Uh, the code itself. So Pankaj, the code, obviously you must be seeing just a part of the code because it's a quite a long code. Okay. So I hope that clears that out, right? Okay. So without really spending any more time on what it is, I'll just quickly tell you what these four screens are like, and then I'll give you a quick demo of what exactly you'll learn as part of this course. Okay, so guys, what you're seeing are basically four windows. The window on the top left is the scripting window where you write the code. Okay, the code which you have written, once you execute it, gets executed on the console, which is the bottom left of bottom left window. Any variables or data frames which you define in your code gets listed in the top right window. That's the environment window. And any sort of plots or help or any sort of interactive plots which you want to see come in the lower right hand side of the window. Okay, so that's how the four windows are divided in an RStudio environment. All right. Now, I'm assuming that a lot of you have already must have worked with structured data, the data which is available in the form of tables and available in the databases. Am I safe to assume that, guys? Have all of you seen some sort of tables and databases to work with? Yeah. Okay. Yes, Excel could be, a type of structured data. Ashish, I agree with you on that. Yes. Asma, yes. SPSS again helps you, crunching the structured data. Patange, absolutely. Databases have the structured data, okay? But nowadays in the industry, there is a lot of demand of analyzing unstructured data, because that's where the actual gold is. If you're able to mine the unstructured data correctly, is where you get a lot of insights. And a small snapshot of that is what I'll show you now, okay? So what I'm trying to show you now is on how to analyze tweets from Twitter data. Okay, so what we'll do is we will quickly extract tweets on a specific topic from Twitter. And once we have extracted these tweets, we'll try and see that how can we summarize all these tweets together in absolutely no time. Okay, and we'll also see what are the sentiments associated with tweets. Okay, so that we can understand that what people are thinking about that specific topic. All right, so these are the two activities which we'll try and do today. So guys, I'll probably just run the code for you, okay, and not explain much of it right now because the explanation will come in at the time of the actual lecture. But just understand and try and take my word for it that all of this which I'm executing right now is a very 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 simple way of writing the R programs. The topic on which I'm planning to extract the tweets is what is really catching up eye for a lot of people, Bitcoins. How many of you have heard about Bitcoins? Yeah, you guys have heard about it? I think off late they have been a lot in news. Okay, now let's see that what exactly people are tweeting about Bitcoins. All right, so what I'm doing is I have created my connection with Twitter with the initial set of code. And now using this, I am extracting 500 tweets on Bitcoin. Okay. Now, as you can see that there is a stop button over
And this
here.
is live, right, Ujjwal? So these are live tweet extracts that you're doing right now, isn't it?
Absolutely, Amit. Absolutely. Yes. Okay. So guys, once I have extracted all these tweets, what I'm doing is I'm doing some cleaning up on the tweets. So, generally when you look at a tweet, there is always going to be some kind of URLs given or some kind of hashtags mentioned or some kind of @ names mentioned. I'm cleaning up all of that. Okay. So the code which I've just ran is helping me clean up all my tweets. And now guys, thanks a lot for that, Ashish. I think that itself defines that why Bitcoins are so much in, conversations now. As you have mentioned that one Bitcoin is some 13 lakh rupees, which is humongous. All right. And guys, what you get to see now is a word cloud or a complete
And that
summary
would
of
be
the
that would be
tweets.
around $12,000, right? Or is it $15,000?
I think I'm not sure
Around
what the
around
dollar rate
12 or
is.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, okay.
All right. And here you go, guys. So here you are. Now, what you're getting to see is a cloud of all the words which are available in the tweets, in the 500 tweets which we have extracted. Okay. Now, do all of you understand that the Bitcoin is nothing but a cryptocurrency? That's how these coins are generally named, and that's how you're seeing the name cryptocurrency coming out, as a different color altogether, because probably a lot of people have been writing the word cryptocurrency in their tweets. Have you guys also Do you guys also know that Bitcoin works on something, a technology which we call as blockchain, or a concept which we call as blockchain? Yeah. No? Okay, so Ashish, that's absolutely fine, but blockchain is the background or the backend technology on the basis of which Bitcoins work. Okay, and that's why this word is coming up a lot in tweets. Similarly, you can see altcoins. Does anybody have a view of what altcoins are? No? Guys, have you heard about other coins like Ethereum or Ripple? You know, these kind of cryptocurrencies are called as alternate coins or altcoins. Okay. Can you see the country name China over here? All of you? Do you know why in the context of Bitcoin you will probably have a country with the name China coming up? If there are no guesses, then let me help you with that. No, actually, China is the only country which is not really very supportive of Bitcoins. Okay, and probably that's what people are tweeting a lot, and that's how China has come up as a very prominent word in our word cloud. Okay, similarly, you can see words like money, you can see words like Litecoin, which is another cryptocurrency, and you can look at another coin over here, that's Bitcoin Cash. So maybe all the 500 tweets which we have extracted, a lot of people are already talking about such things in their tweets, and that's how all of these tweets have come up in this word cloud. Now guys, before I really start explaining the benefit of this, let me ask a quick question. If I am to tell you that please read these 500 tweets and create a summary of it by just reading and typing, how much time do you think you will take? What do you think? Months? I believe at least, okay, somebody says 5 minutes. iPhone, I'm not sure what your name is, but yes, at least 2 to 3 hours or maybe a day, reading through all 500 tweets and then summarizing it. But over here, yeah, it's going to be a very tedious and verbatim process, right? But over here, what I've done is I have done a complete summary, a quick one in just 2 minutes. Yeah. And in 2 minutes, I could almost find out that what kind of things are being talked about when people are talking about Bitcoins. Consensus invest, you know, transaction. I'm sure somewhere you'll also see information about income tax department or something like that. Yeah. So guys, this is how you quickly summarize the data, okay? And all of this was done with a few line of codes which are very easy to understand and within 2 minutes time, okay? Now, Pankaj, that's a very good question. So Pankaj is asking, are the fonts representative of the usage of the words in the tweets? And I think thanks a lot for asking that question, Pankaj. Guys, uh, the size of the word tells you that how frequently the word was used, and so does the color. So the high frequent words are in a different color as compared to low frequent words. All right, so right now you can see probably just two different frequencies, but as you start exploring data more, you see a lot of other colors also coming up, and font size increasing and decreasing on the basis of the frequency of these words being used. Okay, Pankaj, I hope I have answered your question. Yeah. All right. But guys, I know a lot of you must be having this question that by looking at this word cloud, okay, I understood that what kind of things are being talked about, but how does it really help me? Okay. The only thing is that it helps you summarize the documents or summarize the tweets. But there is another aspect to it which can help you a lot more. And that's about understanding that what kind of sentiments people have about such tweets. Okay, so the code which I'm running right now will help you understand the sentiment of these tweets. So guys, as you can see, that basis the 500 tweets which I have extracted, there were quite a few sentiments which are being analyzed over here. Sentiments like anger, anticipation, disgust, fear, joy, negative, positive, so on and so forth. And as you can see, that from the 500 tweets, the maximum score is gained by the positive sentiment. Now, why could the sentiment be positive? Because Bitcoin is running leaps and bounds and gaining heights. Okay, it started off with some few rupees in 2008 or 9, and right now it is, as somebody mentioned, 13.9 lakhs per Bitcoin. So that's why probably people have a lot of positive sentiment towards it. At the same time, there's a lot of anticipation that it might increase, it might decrease, so that brings in the anticipation quotient. And as people are positive about Bitcoin, they are also getting to build trust in it. And that's how the trust sentiment is also very high. Okay, so Raju has a question and so does Vishal. Is there any language processing integration to make sense out of these tweets? I'm sorry, Raju, I don't think I understood your question. Can you please elaborate a little on this? That what do you mean by language processing integration?
Yeah, I think I can pitch in there, Ujjwal. So we have a natural language processing, right? NLP. So
Yeah.
the sentiment package that is being used, Raju, to sort of analyze this is based on the natural language processing, and it's the Oxford Dictionary understanding of each sentiment behind each and every word, right? And this is actually integrated into the R. It's a library in R called the sentiment package. So it's based on NLP, natural language processing. Yeah, Ujjwal, that's it.
Sure. Thanks a lot, Amit. Thanks a lot for that. Vishal is saying, how is the sentiment having the number in the graph? Is it some value of words or frequency? Vishal, yes. So again, as Amit mentioned, in the sentiment package, you have your own dictionary defined for each of these sentiments for specific words. Okay. Now, what the code does is it looks at each and every tweet and map all the words with specific sentiments. Okay. And the number of times a specific word of a specific sentiment comes in is how the numbers are being calculated. So for example, for a positive sentiment, out of 500 tweets, the program might have found out around 320 positive words, which fall into the positive sentiment category. And that's how the score is being calculated. Vishal, does that answers your question? Absolutely, Vishal. Yes, it's by dictionary. Okay. So guys, this is how in just 2 to 3 minutes of time, you can quickly summarize a complete set of documents and at the same time also understand that what kind of sentiments do these documents portray. All right. So that is what I primarily have on this demo on, sentiment analysis and, text mining in R. Uh, if anybody has any questions, I'm happy to take them up. So Pankaj is saying, how are the words related to different sentiments? Is this what you mentioned as a library in R? Yes, Pankaj, that's what I'm saying. That in the sentiment R library, which you have, is where you already have predefined sentiments and their corresponding words. Yep. Okay, guys, if there are no further questions, I'll probably hand it over back to Amit. Ashish is saying, why does the coding part looks like rocket science to me? Ashish, yes, on the first look of it, everybody says that. But the moment you complete the class on text mining and analysis, you will really feel that this is nothing. Okay, so don't worry about that.
So more importantly, we will start with, your first line of code is going to be 2 plus 3 equal to 5. Okay. So all of you that are comfortable with 2 plus 3 equal to 5, that's the first line of code you're going to run in R, and we'll take it all the way from there. Yeah. Python has a different library, and I think Ujjwal needs to leave now. So thanks, Ujjwal. Please, everyone say goodbye to Ujjwal and thank him. He's actually going to another class, but he was kind enough to come here and actually run this demo for all of us. Yeah. So please say thanks to Ujjwal. Yeah. All right, Ujjwal. Thank you. Goodbye.
Thanks.
And
Thanks,
now it's
guys.
time for the Tableau demo. So I'm going to take on the host, and let me share Tableau. Now, how many of us are practicing Tableau today? Yeah? How many of us are practicing Tableau? Okay, time for fun. So have a look at your screen right now. And what I want you to tell me is how many nines do you see on your screen? Okay, so I've got some responses coming in. It's hard, isn't it? Right? Ashish is saying, what is Tableau used for? You will find out very shortly, Ashish. Yeah. It takes time. There are many. Okay, now, Ashish, tell me, how many nines do you see on your screen? And this time, I'm sure it's not going to take any of you a long time, right? It is 10 nines on the screen. And this is why everyone in the world of data science and analytics first visualizes their data. Human beings see much better when they visualize. The role of visualization, folks, is not only at the end of an analytics project, it's at the beginning. Because visual analytics is the exploitation of the abilities you already have to understand what you can see, and you are much better at what you can see than you are at numbers. You think you're good at numbers, but you're not. But dashboards like these, right, they're not visual analytics. This is just presenting your outcomes visually, right? So what is visual analytics? Real visual analytics is about exploring your data visually, right? Analyzing it visually and collaborating as we ask questions to solve problems visually. This happens at the beginning of an analytics project, and at the end you present things visually. Now tell me in 3 seconds, when you look at this, where are the maximum injuries on the player? This is a football player, maximum injuries. 3 seconds. Answer this. There you go. Everyone says knee. How did you get it? Because it takes you only 3 seconds to understand that that's the biggest circle. How about after the knee? Where is the second most number of injuries? Come on, folks. You got it. It's on the ankle. So now you understand why Tableau. If you visualize data, you understand it much better. I have 4 data sets for you here, right? And these 4 data sets are designed by a French statistician called Francis Enscombe. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And you're going to learn your first lesson in analytics. X is something which we call the independent variable, and Y is something that we call, can someone tell me what is the other kind of variable? Y is what? If X is the independent variable, Y is the dependent variable. Okay, absolutely. You got it, right? Okay, so you guys are super clear on this. And these are 4 data sets. Now, when you try to analyze this, what would you try to analyze? What are the first few things you'll try to calculate using basic statistics? Please tell me in the chat box. Everyone try. Okay, so I've got some responses. Mean, median, mode, y is equal to mx plus c, measures of central tendency. Okay, now let me tell you this, right? This is really interesting. Here we go. As it turns out, the mean of x is 9 for all of these data sets. Now think of y as the profit and x as the sales, So, it is exactly the same. It's 9, and variance is exactly 11, right? The mean of y is exactly the same, 7.5. The variance of y is exactly the same up to 2 places of decimal. The correlation between these two, which means how strongly are x and y correlated with each other, as x increases does y increase, as x decreases does y is exactly the same. And even the linear regression line is y is equal to 3 plus 0.5x. Okay, now how are you going to analyze this, folks? And one of you asked why Tableau, and you'll find out in a quick second, right? Okay, everyone stuck. Well, all you need to do, and this is the point our friend Francis Enscombe was saying, is plot a graph. Let's all clap for Vishnu. Vishnu got it, right? Dikshita got it. And when you plot a graph, you'll realize that these are completely different data sets. This is why every data scientist starts out by visualizing their data. This is known as a line of best fit. clearly the data is showing a trend upwards. This is a parabolic decline in y as x increases. In the third case, y steadily decreases in a linear fashion with one outlier that we need to explain. In the fourth case, y has no relation with x whatsoever, and there's an outlier as well. So totally different. This is Enscombé's quartet, but there are many more such data sets that cannot be analyzed without actually using visuals, right? And that's why we visualize data. Okay. Okay. So very quickly, let's now start off with Tableau and have a look at our Tableau demo. It's time to actually practice Tableau. So give me a second here while I fire up Tableau, and all of you that have Tableau on your computers, please do so also. We've shared the data set with those of you that were interested in practicing. I'm sure you've installed Tableau today. Okay, and I'm opening up Tableau on my computer now as we speak. And hang around. So we've got your discount codes, and unless you share your email IDs in the feedback, you will miss out on the recording and the presentation, right? So hang around, folks. Now, as you can see, Tableau can connect with a lot of data sources, okay? All of you can see the Tableau screen. Can you please say yes in the chat box if you can? Fantastic. Okay. Now Tableau can connect with a lot of data sets, okay, including all of these data sets that you can see here, right? Practically every data set that you can imagine, every database that you can imagine, Tableau can connect to that particular database, right? For today, I'll connect to an Excel sheet, and it's called the Global Superstore Data, okay? And I've shared it with all of you, right? And everyone will get the PDF as well. Yes, Prati. So you need to click on Excel and click on the data, and you'll arrive at this screen over here. You'll notice that there are some orders, there are some people that have placed the orders, and there are some returns on the left-hand side of the screen. I'll drag all the order data out and drop it over here. Yeah, it's a simple drag and drop operation. The moment I do that, the beauty of Tableau is it tells you the different data types that you have in this data set. So you have a hash, which is basically a number. It's numerical data, right? You have an ABC, which is your character data, okay? And you have something that looks like a calendar, which is temporal data or time data, to keep it a simple word for you, temporal data. And you've got geospatial data, which is geographical data, again, to keep it simple for you, right? So Tableau gives you visual indications of what is the kind of data that you're looking at in this data set. If you actually drop the returns of the products, you want to drag it out and drop it, you'll find that Tableau creates automatic connections between different tables. Okay, so it figures out that the orders are from certain markets and the returns are also from those markets. For the time being though, I'll keep things simple. We'll stick to only the orders, and you can split fields nice and easy in Tableau. So data manipulation is so easy. I've got an order ID field here with three sort of distinct parts to it. So I go here and I split, and it's so easy in Tableau to split this, right? And the moment I do that, I can rename and create new variables. For example, I could call this one the distribution center, from which I'm actually distributing my products across the world, right? Okay, so this is my data. I'll go now. The fun is that you don't actually analyze anything except visually. So everything will get analyzed visually. Database will get created in the backend, right? So I click on that and I sheet one, and I go and create my first visualization or my first exploration of the data. I'd love to see, how things are going for us in different markets across the world, right? So what I'll do is I'll do something really simple. What we learned in our presentation, and let's go back to our presentation, right, very quickly. And I keep doing this, I keep connecting the theory with the practice. The very first question a business leader will ask is, what's going on with the sales across the world? Okay, let's answer that question with Tableau. So I'll click on dimensions, and measures are two things that you see here. The easiest way to understand this thing, measures are the things that you measure in a business, like sales quantity and profit, and dimensions are the things you can't change, like a customer's name or the location where the customer is based out of. You can change those things, right? So those are dimensions. Now I'll click on sales, which is the measure, and I'll click on dimensions country, and I'll use the control button on my keyboard to select both of these, right? Sales in countries, and that's what your business leaders want to know. The most interesting thing about Tableau is on the top right corner, you can explore your data using this show me. So once I've selected sales and country, I can go to show me, and it recommends a lot of different charts that are colorful now. The others are grayed out. And if you look at one of the charts that it recommends as the top charts, is called symbol maps. So I double click symbol maps, folks, and I double click on that particular one that's recommended because it's highlighted for you in orange border, and it creates your very first visualization of sales across the world, right? But now your business leader asks you the question, that how is the sales as per different states in the United States? Because it's all fine to see, the sales overall is $2.2 million, but how are we doing in the different states in the US? So how do you do that? Well, all you do is you go to the dimensions, you find state, you drag it out and drop it on your map. And the moment you do that, in a quick second, Tableau actually shows you, the sales in all the different states. If I add labels to this, I can actually see the numbers as well, right? Here you go. Okay, but for the time being, I will, remove those labels, right? What we will do is the business leader now has another question for you. He says, well, okay, you've shown me the sales and the states, but what about the profits? Because that's what really matters, isn't it? So I'll go back to Tableau, and what do I need to drag out from the measures? Profit, right? Isn't it, folks? Everyone sees profit there, yes or no? Yes? Do you see profits here in the measures? Please say yes in the chat box. Fantastic. But the question is, where do I drop it, right? So I'll drop it on top of color now, right? And the moment I do that, every bubble changes colors, right? The ones that are profitable are blue, and the ones that are not, they become orange. But to simplify this, right, everybody understands profit. I'll click on color, edit colors. Everyone understands that profits are better when they're green, and that losses are better off, shown in red color. So I'm going to step this up and use the full color range. I'll increase the transparency a little bit so that we can see through the bubbles. As you notice, there's an overlap in some of the bubbles, and just give this a little bit of a border here, yeah? A little bit of a black border. And what we create now is a view of the sales and profits across the world. And this is how you explore data in Tableau. Quickly, you can see that this particular state in the US is a huge bubble, but it is not profitable. Can you tell me which state this is? Which state is this, which is not profitable in the US? Everyone replies in the chat box, please. You guys got it, right? It's Texas, isn't it? And you can also see that Pakistan, Myanmar, Thailand, Vietnam are not profitable, and Sweden is not either, and neither is Turkey. New Zealand has some challenges with profitability, right? A lot of the states in the US, like Ohio, Illinois, and Pennsylvania, that look profitable are actually not profitable anymore. So this is how you work in Tableau and you explore your data. But the question is, why are they not profitable? Could it be that the impact is shipping cost? Maybe if I'm shipping things very far away, maybe I'm not making a lot of profits. But if that is my question, I need to explore that question using predictive analytics. My question is, can you do predictive analytics in Tableau? Anyone? Yes or no? So we've described the sales and profits. We've done this part, but can we do this part in Tableau? No, says Pankaj. Okay, no, says Vishnu. Okay, now folks, I want to show you something very surprising and very important, right? So what you'll realize is that the Gartner Magic Quadrant, and I'm going to, share this Magic Quadrant with all of you, today places Tableau and Power BI, right on top of the tools worldwide, right? So this is the Gartner Quadrant for this year, and you'll see that it places Tableau and Power BI right on the top. So why so? Why so? Because now these tools also have predictive analytical ability. And now get ready for your predictive analytics demo in Tableau. So I'm going to predict if the shipping cost is impacting the profit. So let me add this to your slides so you all know what's going on in the world. The Tableau is now world #1 joint with Microsoft Power BI. Both of these are covered in our course, and you definitely want to know the predictive capabilities in Tableau. Okay, so here we go. So I'm going to go to Tableau. What I'll do is now a little bit advanced. Okay, so you can just watch. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring shipping cost, right? And I want to see shipping cost is impacting my profits. So I'll drop that on the columns, and I'll drop profit on the rows, right? And I get this single point that depicts the total profit and total shipping cost. But I need to see how this is happening in all the markets. So I'm going to bring the markets into the picture and drop it on top of shapes. Now, the moment I do that, each market will be represented by a different shape. Okay, so Pankaj, it's Power BI. Pankaj's question is, yeah, Tableau is way better than ClickView. Okay, way better. Okay, so you guys are distracted. So let me show you this again. Okay, here you go. The Gartner's Magic Quadrant clearly shows you that this, particular year in 2017, Tableau and Microsoft Power BI are way ahead of ClickView. Okay, there you go. So I'm going to come back, and that's why I've included these in the program. But focus, folks. So I'll undo this last step and show you again. See, this is the total profit, total shipping cost. But how is this in different markets? I'll take market, drop it on top of shape. Now, the square represents APAC. The triangle represents the US. So each point shows you the total profit, total shipping cost for a particular geography. Okay. Now I'm going to make this more and more complex as we go on. I'm going to see what categories of products are doing well and which categories are not doing well, right? And don't worry, we'll teach you this in the course. So I'm going to drop category on top of color. Now I get different colors. So each square is 3 colors. So the red square is actually, APAC technology. The blue square is APAC furniture. And the orange square, APAC office supplies. Okay, so this is the total profit and shipping cost in all these geographies. Now I'm going to introduce each and every customer. So I'll drop the customer onto the detail. And the moment I do that, boom, I see the transactions across the world, and I disaggregate my transactions, and I see a clear trend. Okay, this trend, what this trend tells you, folks, is that a lot of the transactions are not profitable. So this is zero profit here, right? So all of the transactions that are below this line, and that's a huge number of transactions, are not profitable. There's a huge challenge. The question is shipping cost causing this, or is it something else? So your business leader wants you to provide insight. Let's go back to our slide, and I'll keep connecting the theory with the practice, and this will happen in the course as well. The question is, why is this happening? So to investigate whether shipping cost is impacting profit, we'll click on analytics and drop a linear regression trend line. Okay, trend line on linear regression. So what is this linear regression? You'll learn this right away. Okay, linear regression means y is equal to mx plus c. Now in this case, y is shipping cost, y is profit. I'm sorry for that. Let me just get this here. So in this case, y is profit, your dependent variable. Profit depends on shipping cost to a certain extent. So m is actually, a constant. It's a number which we'll find out the significance of, and profit is equal to something m multiplied by shipping cost, okay, plus a certain constant. This is the equation that predicts what profit is. Okay, and there's something called a coefficient of determination, which I'll come to. Now we need to see this particular equation. We need to see what is m and what is c. How much is m? How much is c? And how do you do this? Well, you could do it in R and Python, or in Tableau, you could just go on top of this line, and there you go, boom, right? All of you can see this, and I'm going to maximize the screen. Just hover on top of the line, and you can see profit is equal to 0.74 into shipping cost plus negative minus 4.4. The R squared value is 0.069. What does this mean? It means how strongly is profit related with shipping cost. It is a coefficient of determination which tells you how strongly is profit determined by the shipping cost. In this case, what it tells you is that profit is not determined very strongly by the shipping cost. It's just 0.069, right? So what values can it take? The values that R square, which is the coefficient of determination, can take are between 0 and 1. So it could be 0, or it could be all the way till 1. Another way to think about it is that shipping cost could depend on profit. Profit could depend on shipping cost to the extent of 0% or to the extent of 100%. Okay, and what you found is that the coefficient of determination was 0.069, which means approximately, I believe, 6.9%. Now, is that a very significant coefficient of determination? If I say profit, depends on shipping cost to the extent of 6.9%, no, it is not, right? You are absolutely right. So Tableau does have predictive analytical capability, though it has more capabilities on univariate, and I'm using another term, univariate, which means there is only one independent variable, which in this case is shipping cost. So what would be bivariate? Bivariate would have been if y was equal to m1x1 plus m2x2, okay? And don't worry about all of this, yeah? Even if you've forgotten your maths, I'm going to teach you in the course, okay? So m2x2 plus c, right? Like that, okay? So that's multiple variables. So x could be shipping cost, this could be discount. x1 could be shipping cost, x2 could be, apologies. Okay, yeah. X1 could be shipping cost and X2 could be, for example, the discounts that we're giving people. Okay. Is this very clear to everyone? What is univariate and bivariate analysis? Yeah. Please say yes in the chat box if you're clear. Okay, there's many more exciting things that we're going to do in Tableau, right? These two, you will do. So Vignesh says he's somewhat clear. So Vignesh, I'll make it very, very clear to you, right? What is a univariate analysis? It means when there's only one variable which you think impacts another variable. For example, if you think profit is impacted only by shipping cost, and you analyze to see profit whether it's impacted only by one variable, which is shipping cost, that is univariate, right? If you try to analyze profit and see how it is impacted by many different variables, for example, shipping cost, the discount, the inflation in the economy, many other variables, and you try to see what is the equation, that is bivariate or multivariate analytics. You got it? Is it clear to you now? Yes? I love your questions, yeah? So very interesting. Okay, great. So folks, this is great. Now it's time for me to, take your feedback, and after that I have a Q&A. Now everyone who gives the feedback will get today's special discount, and as a measure of my appreciation for you joining the class, I want to show you how to avail your discount wherever you are in the world. For the learners who are at any other location across the world, you will notice that the course is available on the website equiskill.com for $289. Okay, so you need to just type equiskill.com and connect to the website, and I'm going to do that now. The moment you go there, you will see this particular program, the Analytics Accelerator Certification, the best program. It is in R, and you want to click on that program, right? And here we go. So this is the link, and I'm sharing it with everyone in the chat box. Okay. Now, I want all of you to click this link. What you will see is that the course is $399 and discounted right now to $289. If you enroll, you will get it for $289. However, for those of you that joined today's class, I'm really, really grateful that you found the time to join the class. And we are offering an additional $20 discount with a 21-day refund policy. So here is your link, and this is your discount link. Okay. For all the internationals, it's USD 269 only for 48 hours course, okay, covering every advanced thing, including machine learning. So just for your information, in this course, we are also covering machine learning using R. So we will be covering, Pratik, the gradient descent algorithm, linear regression algorithm in machine learning, logistic regression, right? All of those techniques, hierarchical clustering, everything in machine learning is covered in one of the last classes, right? Okay. So just a second, Nitya says she did not get the link. Okay. Yes, the course is online. Those who want to join the course, physically can come in Bangalore, but the course is 100% online. Yeah. Okay. How much knowledge of statistics is required? Nothing, because I'm going to teach you statistics right from the beginning. Yeah. So as you can see here in this particular slide, I will take care of your statistics. So can the folks that are there in international geographies, can you please, tell me if you can avail your PayPal discounted link of $269? Please click this link for those that are outside India, right? For those that are in India, all you need to do is you need to go to the Analytics Accelerator certification page. Okay, click on Enroll Now button, and I'll show you a great way to get your 1000 rupees Indian discount, right? And you will come to checkout. Okay, and the moment you press checkout, you'll see that there's a coupon code over here. Okay, all you need to do is you need to enter the coupon code NY1000, right? New Year 1000. It's valid up to 31st December. And you need to apply this coupon code by pressing the apply coupon code button. Can all of you try that? You don't have to make the payment. All I want to make sure is that all of you are able to apply your coupon code. Okay. So let me share the enroll now link with all of you. Yes. So let me share this link. So I just request everyone to please, everyone in India can please click on this particular link that I've just shared and apply the coupon code NY1000, right? iPhone says thank you. And remember, folks, there's an unconditional, you know, discount. I'm sorry. And apart from that, there's an unconditional refund for 21 days. Ashish, this is the only time we do the training because we have learners from across the world. Now it's time for you to get your feedback form and share your valuable feedback. And those who share their email address, I want to first of all let you know, we do not spam you. Okay, this is against my integrity. You may receive, marketing emails once a month, but you have an unsubscribe button. So don't worry about that at all. You can even leave it in your comment if you don't want to receive any marketing email. But there is an unsubscribe button there. Yeah. The other thing is your name and your mobile number is something that we need in this form. So I'll just make this a text short answer. There you go. Again, we do not spam. We might reach you on WhatsApp if you are interested in this course. We may reach you on WhatsApp. Yeah. Okay. So please share that. The other thing is we need you to tell us how to improve today's webinar and make this even interesting next week. Yeah. I've got another webinar coming up next week. Okay. So let me shorten this URL. And the most important thing for me is, folks, how you felt about this webinar is very important to me. Okay. So time for your feedback form. Let me share this. Class schedule is Saturdays and Sundays at exactly the same time. So it is 7:30 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. IST. Okay, 3 hours class, 7:30 p.m. IST. And if you convert that to Eastern time, in the US, it's 9 a.m. Eastern time to 12 a.m. Eastern time in the US. Those who are in Dubai, for our friends in Dubai, right? It's in the evening in Dubai at 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Okay, right? So we have learners from all the countries, and we provide a certification. A lot of our folks are actually placed in companies, right? So they're working in Agile, they're working in PayPal, sorry, eBay, they're working in engaged marketing, credit exchange. Folks have got placed globally. So we provide a proper certification to you online on our website. It's an authenticated certification that all of you will get at the end of the course. You need to complete your quizzes and your capstone project to earn your certification, right? Okay, I hope that's clear to everyone. Now, can you share your feedback, please? I'm just sharing the feedback form link in the webinar. Please click this. Just a few questions, yeah? Just a few questions, okay? And your email ID will help you get the recording, presentation, data that I used in Tableau today, everything, right? How about those who do not have experience in data science? How are you going to place them? That's nice and easy. What's so hard about that? Okay, so you want to go to Quora and type equiskill. Yeah, you'll get some questions, from my learners. I think some of these people, not everybody, but some people are looking for jobs as well, and that's perfectly fine. Okay, so those of you that need it, I will help you, put together your resume like these students here. And Arumugam is now a data scientist at Agile, as you can see, and he's an R data scientist. Pallab just got his interview, but there are many more, right? If you just type Equiskill on Facebook, you'll see all of these people. I'm sorry, Equiskill on Quora, you'll see all of my students have given their feedback, right? Okay, so read through that, will help you out. It's not a problem. No one gives any guarantees in today's industry, but I have been able to help people because I am a vice president, in analytics, and people have approached me, and I have learners in Manchester in the US as well. They request my help for their resume reviews. But the biggest problem is nobody even gets a call for an interview, right? So if you look at the feedback of this learner, I think the most important thing he was happy with was, after we fixed his resume, he actually got an interview call, right? He got a first round interview, second round is in progress. This doesn't even happen without references and without us fixing your resume. If you hang around, I will show you a good analytics resume. In fact, I'll send it to everyone who has shared the email ID. I'll share how to one good analytics resume with you as well. Okay, now can you say yes in the chat box if you filled the feedback from Ashish, Asma, Dikshita, Murli, Muthu, Pankaj, Raju, Rishi, Selva, Vamshi, Vignesh, Vishal, Vishnuram, everyone? Could you please? Okay, so Asma is finishing it. Okay, iPhone is done. Selva, and understand this, right? I'm a vice president, so I respect your privacy. So be very honest and share your details, and you can even call me. I'll share my mobile number with you. Okay, and talk to me personally. Yeah, it's also my WhatsApp number. Okay, so here we go. And you can see this number on our website also. Yeah, so if you go to equiskill.com, on the website you can see my number listed there in the analytics accelerator certification. Don't try to think of machine learning with Python. It's a very advanced course only for those who are already who know decision trees, linear regression, logistic regression, and have learned analytics. It's for those people, it's not for everybody else. Yeah, so this is the mobile number that I have here. Okay. Okay, so now let me see how many of you have filled the feedback. Your feedback is very important. Only 5. Okay, and I have 19 people in this class, right? So the way I work is really simple, folks. Your feedback is my Bible. Okay, so unless I get your feedback, how will I make this better for people in the future, right? I will not be able to. So please share your feedback right away. I'm waiting for more feedbacks to be submitted, and I will share a few more interesting things like a resume, how it looks, a good resume with you. Yeah, a good analytics resume. Okay, let me refresh and see how many more have filled it. Please say done in the chat box once you filled it. Yeah, okay. Rishi says I will, sir. Fantastic, Rishi. Vishnu says done. Okay, yeah, we're going up. 6 feedbacks filled. Come on, everybody else, should I share the form again? Anyone who didn't get the link, let me share it. See, it's only 5 questions, huh? So don't worry about it, you can just fill it up now. Okay, before I get to the resume part. Okay, there we go. I've shared it again. Yeah, please click this and fill. Yes, yes, absolutely. I will be sharing this resume with everybody who fills the feedback. Just mention your email ID there and your mobile number name. I will be sharing a great analytical resume. But I will show you right now. So stay in the training. If you have 5 minutes, I'll show you how to write a great resume. Okay. Course is 2 months, folks. So we will start on the 7th of January is the next class. Okay. And we will end, and I'll just put this in the chat box, in 2 months. Okay. So 7th of Jan is the second class, and we will end by, around the, let me tell you the exact date. Just give me a second here. So 3rd of March. So we'll be done on the 3rd of March. Okay. There you go, folks. I've mentioned the start and the end dates. Okay. Now I have 14 responses to the feedback. Wow. Thank you, folks. You've made my day. I have one more request for you. Okay. If you liked my webinar, only for those that liked today's webinar, please click on this Facebook page and rate us. We are rated 4.9 out of 5, mostly 5 out of 5 on Facebook. And I'll show you our reviews. And many of our learners, who joined the webinar, they have been kind enough to share very good feedback about the webinar and what they learned in today's webinar. And you can see it here. If you would share your feedback today on our Facebook page and rate us, it would be very, very helpful for me. Now I've got some questions. It's time for Q&A. Okay, so how much are the salaries? Very good question. So let me now pause this particular recording. because what I'm going to share now about salaries and resumes is confidential. Okay, so let me go ahead and pause the recording. Your logo is quite interesting. I've rated 5 just for it, says Vishal. Wow. Okay. So Vishal, I've got something interesting for you. I designed this logo personally. I have not hired anybody. I did it myself in 2015. Yeah. So I'm going to take this as a personal compliment. Pratik says, if I miss a course on a session day, do we get the recording or access anytime in the future? Pratik, you get the recording in 12 hours. Within 12 hours, you get the recording. Okay, and you have a flexi pass. What does a flexi pass means? Flexi pass means that you can attend any class you miss in the next batch. So you will never ever miss, a class. Watch the recording, join it again in the next batch. Simple. And everybody, okay, you must remember this, folks. Everybody will miss 4 classes. Okay, we are all adults, right? We are not kids, and we are busy on weekends. Okay, everybody misses. You talk to me, you let me know which class you're missing. I'll even advise you. Okay. um I don't. Okay, so Vishnu, I'll talk to you separately. Vishnu, I'll talk to you about this ATS. I have to understand, the applicant tracking system. I'll talk to you one on one. Hang around. Huh? Send me a private question. Okay. Patange says, what about physical classes? Okay, so if anyone is based in Bangalore, right, you want to come and sit in our office and attend with us, please do that. So you can join the Zoom video conference from our office and talk to us during the breaks, talk to us after the class. We don't mind, and we don't charge extra for that. See, this is an online course, but if anyone wants to come, we don't mind. Okay, we don't even charge anything extra for that, right? Okay, very good. Now, what else? But remember this, folks, don't waste your time on traveling in life. Huh? Focus on the learning. Come and meet me for your resume, and I will edit one on one. Or if you're somewhere else in the world or in India, you come with me in a video conference, I'll help you with your resume one on one. Yeah. Vignesh, if you filled the feedback form, you will get this PPT. I am very happy to be contacted on WhatsApp, folks. So 97316 57840 is my WhatsApp as well. Huh? You can WhatsApp call me, you can WhatsApp message me. Both are perfectly fine. Yeah. You love the course. Okay. Now, what other questions do you have? Let me take your questions before I, move ahead from here.